Hello and welcome. I am Raziel, and so I really do enjoy one-page rules. I think it's a fun game. It's a fantastic game, and it's got this scope that I don't think many other games can do, which is just a variety of models you can use for this game. A lot of people use Games Workshop models, so I'm not even going to touch those. Some people 3D print, but not everyone 3D prints. But One Page Rules community, the OPR community, really do 3D print. They're big on that. But not everyone does that, and not everyone wants to do that. You may not have time, or the resources, or just anything that which is needed for 3D printing. And while it is basically a big money saver at the end of the day, some people just don't have the time. Okay, like myself, I don't have the time to 3D print. But so I thought, given what One Page Rules is like, and that you can use pretty much any models from any game in your force, I'm going to go through the armies for Grimdark Future and Age of Fantasy and talk about models you can use instead of Games Workshop, because that's the one that most people use. So I'm thinking, let's talk about the other models, things that you might not use or might not think about using for this, because you could actually use all what I suggest today and just have this absolutely cool looking army which is completely varied, completely different. Every unit's going to look completely different from each other, and you could just really go nuts, sort of thing. And that just would be fantastic, because I'm thinking of building a OPR army using some Union models, some bolt action models, and some Kings of War models. I'm just going to try, not Kings of War, Age of Firefight models. Just going to have this nice, cool looking varied army and have each one sort of dedicated like a veteran unit, or so it's all going to look really different. You have a nice looking army, which is everything's going to be different. But you could do the same, or you could just use the same force from each game. It's up to you. I'm just saying what I think might be really cool. So what I'm going to start with is one that is a little bit out of the box, a little bit off the wall thinking, and that is Warlord Games Bolt Action. And I think the good thing with Bolt Action is, I'm on the British Army, of course, because I'm a Brit. You can literally use any of these for the Human Defence Force. I should actually clarify, that is the army I'm doing today. I'm doing the Human Defence Force, mainly because it's quite simple. It's a basic human soldiers. They're not transhuman, they're not super armoured, they're just soldiers. You've got company leaders, conscripts, infantry squad, etc. And I think this is really cool. So let's go back to Bolt Action, and again British Army. And as you can see, you can really go nuts. You can get the British and Canadian Army Infantry Force. That could be like your infantry, or you could go with the 8th Army, which this is the army I'm collecting, but I'm making them my Desert Rats. And you got so much choice here, and you could pretty much build your entire OPR army, your One Page Rules army, your Human Defence Force army, with just this. That would just be a cool command squad, by the way. I just think that would be so funny to have Dad's army as your command squad. But as I was saying, this is something, because you've got everything there. You've got your APCs, you've got your heavy tanks, your artillery, your weapons teams, your infantry, veteran squads, special weapon squads. Everything that you would need for a human defense force is basically in Bolt Action. Because of a similar scale, I think this would look really cool for your HDF army, to be honest with you. I think this would look pretty dope, because it looks like a proper human army force. Kind of taking it out of a sci-fi setting and making it just normal soldiers who are not heavily armoured, and it can really show that the human defence force aren't looked upon. They're sort of the lowest of the low. They don't even deserve armour. And I think Bolt Action would really look cool as your army. Next one is the GCPS. So if you're going to go more sci-fi and more that direction, Mantic's GCPS for Firefight, again, is a fantastic one. And you have everything you need. I don't think you have artillery, unfortunately, but you do have everything else. You've got your light walkers, your aircraft, your APCs, obviously your infantry, and like infantry squad, and your special weapon squad, your storm soldiers, troopers. Oh, look, you do have some weapons teams there as well. Like I said, I don't think you really got artillery. I'm not 100% sure. there you go, you got some cavalry there, but you'd have to get 2 boxes of those. And I think, there you go, you could use tech drones, kit bash to convert these to make these your artillery pieces. And so I think Mantic's Firefight GCPS is really cool. And this is if you want to go into that sort of grim dark future. Bolt action if you just want this cool looking army which resembles World War II with sci-fi weapons if you wish to do for converting, or just the weapons they have. You know, give it that old rustic look on a planet that's been, you know, kind of just left, and now they've got to defend themselves against the armies, against the, you know, against the I was going to say Astarians, the space elves, and you know all the other forces that want to kill and hurt humans. And I think this would that bolt action would really fit this. But if you want to go grim dark, this would be another cool way of doing it. But like I said, you could go like get the GCPS Ranger sniper team and then go for some bolt action normal infantry and have, you know, these 2 different looks for it as well. So like the snipers would be far more advanced, have the better armor, and you know look different compared to your normal infantry. Have your elites using GCPS soldiers and, you know, like your veterans, your snipers, but use your conscripts and your basic infantry with bolt action. I know there's a slight scale difference there, but honestly it's just for fun. And I think, like I said, this is the sort of thing that would be really cool. You'd have this really cool looking army which would be really different and varied, and I think that's kind of sweet. And finally, Wild West Exodus. Come on, you think I wouldn't go through Wild West Exodus? Now, Wild West Exodus, you've got the Union Armoured Rifle Guards. These would just be basic troops. They have very little with artillery, weapons teams, and stuff like that. This would just be like your basic troops here. And that's all you could really use them for, like your Union Rifle men there. And let's have a look. There is something else down here which I want to see. The Lawmen have a good one as well. There you go, you got Veteran Rangers and Ranger Minutemen. So even, like, you know, you could really go nuts and just have so many cool looks for your army for 1-page rules. And like I said, it's one of the best things for it. And, you know, you could do this really cool looking army, have lots of different looking models. What I would suggest, however, this is just something that I've observed. You would, however, need to buy bases for all of them. You would need to buy a set base so they're all on the same basis, which is unfortunate. Or you could just buy balsa wood and just copy firefight models and just have them all on balsa wood cut out. You know, if you want to go real cheap. But like I said, the point of this video is to show you that you could really have this nice looking 1-page rules army using lots of different models, lots of different gamed models basically, and have a nice cool looking varied army. Like you could have Raider, Hex, Cutthroat and Gunman as some veterans, and you could use whichever character as well to go with it. You know, there's loads of cool looking characters for the GCPS, for the bolt action, as well as, of course, there's always the cool looking ones for Wild West Exodus. And this is, like I said, this is cool for the Human Defense Force. And this would really, really look outstanding on tabletop, having these cool looking armies which are just going to be different from everyone else, but they'll still stick to the same rules for the HDF. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. This was actually really cool to make. This is one of the reasons I really enjoy 1-page rules. The fact that I can just look at so many different games and look at so many different models and go, do you know what, I'm going to use this model, these models for my veterans, I'm going to use these models for my infantry, I'm going to use these models for my special weapons team, and just have this nice eclectic army. You know, maybe it's even a force that has to sort of scratch together, a scratch regiment where they just grab people from everywhere. It's like, you're with us now, we need, you know, you need a regiment, we need people, you're with us now. You keep your gear and just go that route. Anyway, so thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you all in the next one. Have a great day. I hope you all are having a lovely day as it is. And I'll see you soon. And if, by the way, this is Whaling Games, and I do use them. So if you want to save money on Whaling Games, go down below. Save up to 20% off, and free delivery after £20. Just in case you're wondering why these aren't percentage off, because they make Wild West Exodus. So like the way we went to the Mantic shop and bought it from Mantic, same thing appeals here. Like they make Raw Cradle. So that's the reason. Next is Forbidden Planet for comics, DVDs, mangas, etc. All that cool, fun, geeky stuff that everyone enjoys. There is also my merchandise for stickers, cups, mugs, t-shirts. Really, obviously, some really cool artwork there, which I've done myself. Talking about artwork, there's my comics, which I I drew and wrote myself. There's Skyforge, never forget Skyforge, good friend of mine. And finally, Patreon because business. Bye-bye.